Hello everyone. In this lecture, we'll be discussing about Unit 2 transducer. It is from the subject Electronic Measurements and Instrumentation. This one is lecture number 3. So let's begin with the contents. So in this, we'll be studying about strain gauge factor, problems, then solving of some problems, then bonded resistance strain gauge, unbonded strain gauge, then the summary of that all. Okay, so let's begin. First, strain gauge. So strain gauge, what it is? It is a passive transducer. So here means this strain gauge, that is resistive transistors, are those in which the resistance changes due to the change in some physical phenomenon. When a metal conductor is stretched or compressed, its resistance changes because both length and diameter of the conductor change. The strain gauge, what it is, as I told you, is a passive transducer that uses the variation in electrical resistance in wires to sense the strain, okay, produced by a force or on the wires. So what all it will be doing? It is the type of sensor whose resistance varies with applied force. So it converts what? Force, pressure, tension into a change in electrical resistance which can be measured. Okay. So principle what it will be used? When the strain is applied to a thin metallic wire, its dimension changes, thus changing the resistance of the wire. So when it is strained, its property is called as piezo resistance. So resistance strain gauge are also known as what? Piezoresistive gauges. Okay. So here the strain gauge is used as the fundamental sensing element for many types of sensors, including pressure sensors, load cells, torque sensors, position sensors, etc. So you can see their examples in the figure of the strain gauge, how they will be looking. Okay. Then next we will be studying about gauge factor. Gauge factor. So gauge factor, what it is? It is the ratio of the change in the resistance, that is ratio of per unit change in the resistance to per unit change in the length. Okay. So your formula will be gauge factor. It is represented as capital K, that is delta R divided by R divided by the whole divided by delta L divided by L. So where K is nothing but, as I told you, it is gauge factor. Then delta R is nothing but change in initial resistance in ohm. Then R is equal to initial resistance in ohm. Then delta L is change in length in meter, and L will be initial length in meter. Okay. Then next we will be seeing on that gauge factor problem. So the problem, what it states here, a strain gauge has an unstrained length of 10 centimeter and resistance of 100 kilo ohm. When its length reduces to 9.9 centimeter, the resistance decreases to 98 kilo ohms. So what we have to do? We have to find the gauge factor. So solution we will see here. So what they have given? R, that is initial resistance, how much they have given? 100 kilo ohm. Then L, what it is? Initial length they have given as 10 centimeter. And next delta R, that is change in initial resistance, what they have given? How it will be? 100 into 10 raised to 3 minus 98 into 10 raised to 3, means it is in kilo, that's why. So what it will be? 100 minus 98, it will be 2 kilo. So delta L is equal to the change in the length. So 10 minus 9.9, that will be 0.1 centimeter. So gauge factor we have found out now, delta R, delta L, we have R, we have L. So gauge factor K will be delta R divided by R, the whole divided by delta L divided by L. So what it will be? The answer it will be, at last you will get the gauge factor as 20 after dividing all that calculation. Okay. Then next one we will be seeing about bonded resistance strain gauge. Okay. So here bonded strain gauges are what? They are directly bonded onto the surface of the structure under the study. So they will be bonded on the structure directly. So you can see the figure as you can see, that is bonded type strain gauge. So here what it will be? commonly used form of bonded wire strain gauges are what? Grid type, rosette type, torque type, helical type. Okay, then here you can see a grid type. You can see over there bonded strain gauge wire strain gauge is shown. A fine wire element about 25 micrometer or less in diameter is looped back and forth, up and down like this. They have done, no, like this, that one. Okay, then the grid of fine wire is cemented on a carrier, which may be a thin sheet of paper, bakelite, or Teflon, that sheet, okay, on which it is placed. The wire is covered on top of the is cemented. So the wire is covered on top with a thin material so that it does not damage mechanically. So on top there will be a coating. Okay, the spreading of the wire permits uniform distribution of stress. So we are spread it across that whole thing. So what will happen? Uniformly the stress will be distributed. Okay, the carrier is then bonded or cemented to the member being studied. Okay, this permits a good transfer of strain from carrier to wire. Okay, so like this bonded strain gauge will be working. Then features: they are reasonably inexpensive. They can pull off overall accuracy of better than plus or minus 0.10%. Then they are available in short gauge length and have small physical size. Then these strain gauges are only moderately affected by temperature changes. They are extremely sensitive and have low mass. Okay, the next, unbonded strain gauges we will be seeing. So these strain gauges are not directly bonded onto the surface. As in bonded, they will be directly bonded on the surface. This will be not directly bonded on the surface, okay, of the structure under study. So here you can see the diagram of an unbonded strain gauge. So how it will be done? It consists of a wire stretched between insulating supports mounted on a fixed base and movable arm. The diameter of the wire used is 25 micrometer. Then these wires are kept under tension so that there is no sag and no free vibration. Unbonded strain gauges are usually connected in Wheatstone bridge circuit. So two opposite arms are tightened and other two slackened by the displacement. The bridge is balanced with no load applied first. Then when an external load is applied, the resistance of the strain gauge changes, causing the unbalance of the bridge circuit, resulting in an output voltage. So whenever there is an external load applied, there will be the balance will go up and it will be unbalanced of the bridge. That will be giving you the output voltage. Okay, this voltage is proportional to the strain, means how much you will apply the strain, depending on that the output voltage will be there. Okay, so by this we will be like that this unbonded strain gauge will work. Then features: they are able to measure strain of plus or minus 1 micrometer. The next, they are small in size and light in weight. Then they are able to respond to high frequency signals. Then they have wide range of frequency response, and they are low in cost. Okay, the next, what all we have done. Summary: the strain gauge is an example of what? Passive transducer that uses variation in electrical resistance in wires to sense the strain produced by a force on the wires. Okay, so by this we are completing the this lecture 3. Thank you.